Raining in light, growth. Growth. Who would have ever imagined that our growth would be based on the silence that we hold, the silence that we give, and the silence that we take? Who would have ever thought that we grow during the waiting periods of our lives? These waiting periods come overnight. They come when we're at rest and when no one is watching. The waiting periods are happening even when we're not fixated on them. Growth can come overnight. We certainly must aid the growth of our mind, body, and spirit, and by taking action. This is doing, this is seeing, learning, sharing, participating, observing, researching, developing, planning, and adjusting. These are just to name a few of the things that we must do during the waiting and active periods. Waiting periods are those moments when we are praying, when we're wishing, and when we're hoping for our turn, our big break, our opportunity, our gift, our luck, and our blessing. The waiting period is sometimes not fully recognized as that. And even though somewhere in the corners of our minds and our hearts, there's a want, a desire that we may be longing for. The waiting periods can look like a moment of us going through a heartbreak and feeling as though it'll never end. A heartbreak doesn't have to solely be based on an intimate relationship or partner. It could be losing someone, and even if in the form of a termination of a friendship. A heartbreak could be the first time a child or a parent has lied to us, yelled at us, or called us a vulgar name. There's a waiting period through these moments, and maybe for us to have an in-depth conversation, and maybe with ourselves, for us to attempt closure, for us to walk in forgiveness, or any piece of understanding in order to make peace with the situation. Through the waiting period, we have an opportunity to experience growth, but it is up to us to take it. It is up to us to learn, to heal, and then to teach. To teach would be to navigate through this part of our journey and be able to avoid or embrace any other similar moment. To teach would also be to share with others and in a way of empowerment and in an effort to help others get through these human moments. Growth for us at times is kind of like a wildflower and blooming exactly where we are and anywhere that we may be. Wildflowers grow naturally. They're brave, and they don't need much of a hands-on from others. Wildflowers don't mind the sun, and they certainly don't mind the rain. Their beautiful plan is just to grow, and in the wild, their wild being symbolic of our world, we can choose to grow. In our big world, we are supposed to discover and make discoveries. We are supposed to improve and make improvements. Growth is to gain. Growth is to enhance. With growth, our knowledge increases. Breathe. Let's grow. Deep breaths in and slow breaths out. Mental, emotional, and spiritual growth is a choice. Whatever we go through, we can grow through. We can learn. Growth is knowing that there is a lesson in everything, and knowing that all and everyone can be a teacher. Deep breaths in, slow breaths out. We grow through pain. We grow through tears. We grow through laughter. We grow through sadness. We even grow through fear and anger. Whatever the catalyst or the cause or reason for either of these feelings, we learn to avoid what may have caused it, or we learn to enjoy or take part in more of it, like laughter, which could bring about pleasure and joy, all of which is growth. It would be grand if through all of these things that bring about the emotions we don't prefer, that we learn and always on the first time. But because we're human, we sometimes have to learn the second, third, fourth time around. We grow through mistakes. Growth after repeated mistakes and after trial and error allows us with an opportunity to set our mind on utilizing tools and practicing methods for success. A growth mindset. Deep breaths in and slow breaths out. A state of mind that we place ourselves in is a growth mindset. The shortest person on earth can appear to be 10 feet tall or larger than life, and because he, she, or them have chosen to walk within an exuberant light that helps to brighten others, this person has chosen to grow through each second of life. They've learned to share. They've learned to forgive. They've learned that the world is bigger than they. They've chosen to love. They work to create peace. They respect silence. They're adaptable and open to change. They don't harvest anger. They do not hold grudges. They speak truth and they hold to it. They are non-judgmental. They're always giving their best. The choices that this person has made is what we can all do. To grow physically is a natural phenomenon for most. To grow in all other ways makes the individual a phenomenon. This is remarkable. Emotional growth occurs through every emotion, and as uncomfortable as they may be, emotions that cause discomfort may contribute to the most emotional growth. This may be something like weathering the storm or finding acceptance or peace through our tears. By choosing to grow, we have an opportunity to become a better version of ourselves, like an up-to-date or current model. Mental growth may come from the inclusion of materials like books, from learning from others, and from learning through physical and emotional growth. Mental growth is incorporating skills of healthy living and recognizing that we're human all the while. All areas of growth are connected to the spirit. Spiritual growth. Like other areas of growth, spiritual is always in progress. Spiritual has layers and pieces and components. Spiritual growth is an exercise of the physical, of the emotional, and the mental through patience and grace. We exercise our ability to deeply connect with ourselves and others. Spiritual growth allows us the opportunity to explore the meanings of life. When we take time to grow spiritually, we are prepared to reflect personally. When we arrive to our spiritual growth, we dedicate time to prayer, to meditation, and to studying. Within spiritual growth, we may get to a period of awakening. This is where we will reevaluate our lives, along with our values and our beliefs, and perhaps that we've learned from others. Awakening does include heightened senses. That's our hearing, our seeing, and our thinking. It becomes clear. Our daydreams and our dreams overnight may appear to be brighter and seemingly more real. Through a spiritual awakening, we become in sync with our universe and all that is in it. With all growth, it may be time to change our routines, and so that we are effectively participating in our growth. Our growth is the essence of our life. Of all these steps that we will take to grow, take a first step of growth with reigning in light.